guys, welcome back to Storytime with Elijah. Today we're going to continue my book of Bible stories, and the chapter we'll be reading is Isaac Gets a Good Wife, Twins Who Are Different, and Jacob Goes to Haran. So let's begin. Isaac gets a good wife. Do you know who the woman in this picture is? Her name is Rebecca. And the man she is coming to meet is Isaac. She is going to become his wife. How did this happen? Well, Isaac's father, Abraham, wanted to get a good wife for his son. He didn't want Isaac to marry one of the women in Canaan because these people worshipped false gods. So Abraham called his servant and said, I want you to go back to where my relatives live in Haran and get a wife for my son Isaac. Right away, Abraham's servant took 10 camels and made the long trip. When he got near the place where Abraham's relatives lived, he stopped at well. It was late in the afternoon, the time when the woman of the city would come to get water from the well. So Abraham's servant said a prayer to Jehovah. May the woman that gets some water for me and the camels be the one that you choose to be the wife of Isaac. Soon Rebecca came along to get some water. When the servant asked her for a drink, she gave him one. Then she went and got enough water for all the thirsty camels. That was hard work because camels drink lots and lots of water. When Rebecca finished doing this, Abraham's servant asked the name of her father. He also asked if he could stay overnight at their home. She said, My father is Bethuel, and there is room for you to stay with us. Abraham's servant knew that Bethuel was the son of Abraham's brother Nahor, so he knelt down and thanked Jehovah for leading him to Abraham's relatives. That night, Abraham's servants told Bethuel and Rebekah's brother Laban why he had come. They both agreed that Rebekah could go with him and marry Isaac. What did Rebecca say when she was asked? She said yes, she wanted to go. So the very next day, they got on the camels and began the long trip back to Canaan. When they arrived, it was evening time. Rebecca saw a man walking in the field. It was Isaac. He was glad to see Rebecca. His mother Sarah had died just 3 years before, and he was still sad about this. But now Isaac came to love Rebecca very much, and he was happy again. Twins who were different. The two boys here are very different, aren't they? Do you know their names? The hunter is Esau, and the boy taking care of the sheep is Jacob. Esau and Jacob were the twin sons of Isaac and Rebekah. The father Isaac liked Esau a lot because he was a good hunter and would bring him food for the family to eat. But Rebekah loved Jacob most because he was quite a peaceful boy. Grandfather Abram was still alive. And we can just imagine how Jacob liked to listen to him talk about Jehovah. Abraham finally died at 175 years of age. When the twins were 15 years old, when Esau was 40 years old, he married 2 women from the land of Canaan. This made Isaac and Rebekah very sad because these women did not worship Jehovah. Then one day something happened that made Esau very angry with his brother Jacob. The time came when Isaac was to give a blessing to his older son. Since Esau was older than Jacob, Esau expected to receive this blessing, but Esau had earlier sold the right to receive the blessing to Jacob. Also, when the 2 boys were born, God had said that Jacob would receive the blessing, and this is what happened. Isaac gave the blessing to his son Isaac. Jacob. Later, when Esau learned about this, he became very angry with Jacob. He was so angry that he said he was going to kill Jacob. When Rebekah heard about this, she was very worried, so she told her husband Isaac, "It will be just terrible if Jacob also marries one of these women of Canaan." At that, Isaac called his son Jacob and told him, "Don't marry a woman from Canaan. Go instead to the house of your grandfather Bethuel in Haran. Marry one of the daughters of his son Laban." Jacob listened to his father and right away began his long trip to where his relatives lived in Haran. Jacob goes to Haran. Do you know who these men are Jacob is talking to? After traveling many days, Jacob met them by a well. They were taking care of their sheep. Jacob asked, "Where are you from?" "Haran," they said. "Do you know Laban?" Jacob asked. "Yes," they answered. "Look, here comes his daughter Rachel with his flock of sheep. Can you see Rachel there coming in the distance?" When Jacob saw Rachel with his uncle Laban's sheep, he went and rolled a stone away from the well so the sheep could drink. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and told her who he was. She was very excited and she went home and told her father Laban. Laban was very happy to have Jacob stay with him, and when Jacob asked to marry Rachel, Laban was glad. However, he asked Jacob to work in his field 7 years for Rachel. Because he loved Rachel so much, Jacob did this. But when the time came for the marriage, do you know what happened? Laban gave his older daughter Leah to Jacob instead of Rachel. When Jacob agreed to work for Laban 7 more years, Laban also gave him Rachel as his wife. In those times, God allowed men to have more than one wife. But now, as the Bible shows, a man should only have one wife. So guys, thank you guys for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. Please subscribe. And please join me back for Jacob has a big family. Bye!